just logging in right now and watching the numbers tick up. Maybe let's begin with a little bit of singing as they come in, and then that way when we have a critical mass, I'll paste in the...
Okay. So welcome everybody, those who are already here. Shabbat Shalom. Feel free to chat us a Shabbat Shalom message if you like. As you can see, I'm joined by my beautiful and wonderful wife who's going to start us out tonight. This is a chant that I wrote as a zimun, as an invitation. The words are very simple. There's only two, al hakol, which really just means upon the all. Whatever it is that you're bringing tonight, whatever is the dynamic emotions that are inside of you, if you're anything like me, you're up, you're down, you're all over the place. And so we're just inviting ourselves to be seen and heard and felt this Shabbat upon all of it. Al Hakol, that the divine sees and feels us in all of it. So we're gonna sing it. It's a call and response, and I'll hear you through the virtual waves. Al hakol, al hakol, al hakol, al hakol, al hakol. You got it. Al hakol, al is real and honest and true for us tonight is heard and seen and felt upon all of it. The challenges, the joys, the victories. One more time.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
So I've pasted into our chat link for our prayer book. And so you can find that by scrolling up. I'll do it once again for those who can't necessarily scroll up. If you take your scroller and bring it down to the bottom, you'll see the word chat and you'll be able to find it. I also want to say I've been inspired even at the beginning of this service by watching everybody sharing greetings to one another. It feels like each week people are not only feeling more comfortable with this platform that we are praying with, but also with expressing and reaching out over it. And so I want to encourage you not only to send greetings to each of us, but also feel free to click on an individual's name and write to them specifically, wishing them a Shabbat Shalom. We may not be able to be physically present with one another, but it doesn't mean that we can't be supportive at the same time. And so we're going to begin on page number 24 in our prayer book, which corresponds to page number 42 in the PDF. If you're new to our PDF, which I sent in to everybody on the chat, you'll find that we're about 18 pages off because there's introductory material at the beginning of the book. So again, page 42 in the PDF or page 24, the singing of Shalom Aleichem.
Shalom
מלאכי השרת, מלאכי עליון, מי מלך מלאכי המלאכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. בואכם לשלום מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון, מי מלך מלאכי המלאכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ברכוני לשלום, ברכוני לשלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון, מי מלך מלאכי המלאכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. בצאתכם לשלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון, עליון, מי מלך מלאכי המלאכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
So we formally usher in Shabbat by lighting our candles tonight. We are on page number 2 in our prayer book or page number 20 in your PDF. Taking in the light of Shabbat. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. So we lift up our cups, and I want to say that one of the reasons that we have wine every single Friday night is because wine is sweet. It's a delicacy. And that no matter how difficult the world is around us, no matter how stressed we are, whether we are in mourning, there will always be wine to touch our lips. And so as I pray this Kiddush, I want to invite you to think about what is something sweet in your life, and if you feel moved, to share it with the group. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho b'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron l'maaseh v'reishit ki hu yom tehila l'mikrayei kodesh zecher l'tziyat mitzrayim ki banu v'acharta V'yotanu kidashta mikol alamim v'shabbat kodshecha b'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat.
L'chaim.
L'chaim. And so we're going to turn forward in our prayer books to the singing of L'chadodi, which can be found on page 20 or page 38. But I'm already noticing that people are typing into the chat things like their children and their grandchildren and their daughter, things that bring sweetness into their life. And I want to tell you that even when I do give these prompts here, because many are on Zoom, you can also type anything that you want into the chats and really the comments in our YouTube station as well. And so again, we're on page 20 or page 38. you're able, verse number 9.
בואי ושלום, עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה.
You remain standing, turning to page 28 for the Baruch or page 46 in your PDF packets. We may be seated. A special creative rendering of our next pair, B'chokhmah poteach, that with wisdom God opens the gates of heaven, exchanging day for night and night for day.
I lose my strength. ברוך אתה אדוני המעריב הרבים.
Page 32 or page 50. Ahavat Olam, we are loved by an unending love.
אהבת עולם, בית ישראל, עמך אהבת. תורה ומצוות, חוקים ומשפטים, אותנו לימדת. על כן אדוני אלוהינו, בשוכבנו ובקומנו, נשיח בחוקיך, ונשמח בדברי תורתך, ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד. כי הם חיינו באורך ימינו, באורך ימינו, ובהם נגד יומם בלילה, יומם בלילה. באהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל. שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
We move forward in our prayer books, page 57 on the PDF or page 39 in the book itself. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot. That wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there, except by joining hands and marching together, page 40.
ופדה אדוני את יעקב, וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
We're on page 42 or page 60, Hashkivin.
ברוך אתה אדוני הפורס סוכת שלום עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל ועל ירושלים.
In a moment, we're going to move forward in our prayer books to page 155 or page 173 in your PDF. And after this opening meditation, asking God to open up our lips, we will move into silence, our silent Amidah, either praying the traditional words on the page or whatever words are in your heart through page 175. We rise together for the Amidah, moving actually to page 167 when we finish. So page 155 to 167. Please rise. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi agid tehilatecha.
ויעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. אמן.
And so as we come out of our silent Amidah, we keep presently on our hearts the need, the hope, the prayer for peace to come and descend upon us all, everywhere.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Tasim leolam ki ata hu melech adon lehol shalom ki ata hu melech adon lehol shalom v'tov b'einecha levarech et amcha Yisrael b'chol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם.
We take a moment during our service to think of those who are ill and who are in need of healing, who are in need of a refuah shlema, complete healing of body, mind, soul, and spirit. I'll invite us to turn to page 253 or page 271 in your PDF packets. And this Shabbat, we think of the following individuals: Ephraim ben Wolf v'Rachalea, Mimi Jacobs, Joshua Gendel, Ann Rosenberg, Harav Meir Simcha ben Shena, Eileen Smith, Zechariah Yaakov ben Karen, Kira D'Agostino, Yehudit Devora, Batova Umoshe, Jill Turetsky, Laura Bellamy, Bonnie Horowitz, Lorianne Romali, Linda Painter-Levine, Charlotte Ganzer, Andrea Pinelli, Claude Pomper, Edith Shavat, Minna Seaman, Lila Margolius, Sharon Rosen, Randy Lowe, Miriam Bud Esther, Joanna Jelski Fusco, Jane Raitt, Lillian Wexler, Ed Lillian Schmidt, Esther Gittel Bat Rivka, Jerry Hoffman, Gabrielle Bat Chava, Tegan Kaiser, Gabe Patnoy, Beryl Ben Pinchas V'Ruchalea, Alexander Roberts, Irving Berner, David Ben Henu, Elijah Richards, Phyllis Natter, Wolf Leib Ben Pesach Esther, Diane Felder, Stephen Penny, Roberta Sandler Feld, Barbara Lesser, Nachum Zalman Ben Rachalea, Phyllis Shankman, Jean Siegel, Sherry Newworth, Celia Zizel, Paul Leggett, Phil Murphy, Bracha Devora, Bat Chai Sarah Israel, Irving Butterman, Jack Allard, George and Eileen Green, Yonatan Yisrael Ben Rivka, and Raphael Ben Label Vibatia. I'll invite you, if you've got names of other people that you're thinking of, to type them into the chat now. As together we join on page 253 or page 271 for our prayer for healing.
לאימותינו
Shabbat Shalom. This week has been a tough week, just as almost every one of our weeks have been tough. And today I had an occasion that I've had all too often, and that I'm going to have even more this weekend, to stand with a family at a graveside. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up is because this week's Torah portion speaks about a tragic death. It's the death of Nadav and Avihu, two of Aaron's 4 children. Aaron is very excited because it is the day of consecrating the great Mikdash, the great tabernacle, the Mishkan that the people have built. And they've been spending months and months constructing this. They've gotten directions from God about what supplies to use and about how the sockets fit and the curtains and the drapes and the carpet, and everything is exact. And the day comes when they are meant to make the first sacrifices to God and to consecrate this home to God that they have constructed in the desert. And that night, right before, Nadav and Avihu sneak into the tabernacle, and they offer what is called a strange fire, an Eish Zara. And immediately that fire jumps out and it consumes them. Now, Nadav and Avihu were, I would say, 2 of the most tragic figures in the whole of the Torah, because we actually don't know why they died. We're told very little about the death and the motivations and what happens, but we are told a lot about the aftermath of their death. Because after they die, we find that Moses approaches Aaron and talks to Aaron about what it means to be a mourner. And as I looked into the mourners' faces today at graveside, and previous weeks at graveside, and as I will sadly throughout these other funerals that we have going, I saw Aaron's face in them, because Aaron's mourning was an incomplete mourning. Moses goes to Aaron and he says multiple things to Aaron. First, he says to Aaron, basically, you are the priest, so you cannot question God. And in that moment, we're told Aaron stood there in this kind of stunned silence, not knowing what to say, because he was supposed to be setting an example. Also, as a priest, he couldn't defile himself by touching a dead body, because that would make him, quote, impure. And if he was impure, he wouldn't be able to do that next day's sacrifice. So he had to have extended family be the one to escort his 2 children's bodies outside of the camp to be buried. He could not go with them. And finally, we're told that he couldn't even do the classic things that one does when they mourn. He couldn't be taken out of commission as he sat Shiv'ah for his sons, because he had to do those sacrifices the next day. And not only that, he couldn't tear his clothes, he couldn't sit in sackcloth, he couldn't pull his hair, he couldn't do any of the ancient customs that you find, because he was expected to stand up and to be there for others in that moment, even if he could not be there for himself. Aaron was incredibly disadvantaged in the moment when he needed to find comfort the most as a mourner. Aaron sought out ritual only to find that the door to that ritual was closed to him. He couldn't bury his sons, he could not mourn as usual, and he could not question. And as I looked out at our mourners today and think back to other funerals that I've done in previous days, and these have been dark days for our community, we've had at least double, if not more, the number of deaths, shivas, and funerals than we normally would have in a given month, sometimes probably even more than that in a given week. I watched as I had to stand 6 feet away from mourners, as I wasn't able to embrace them, as I had to deliver my eulogy from behind a music stand so I could rest a phone on that music stand, allowing most of the people who would have come to that funeral to watch it virtually. And today, as I stood in front of only three people who weren't even allowed to shovel earth onto their loved one, because every cemetery has different rules. And this particular cemetery had the rule that they would fill in the grave before we got there. I thought back of what it means in this day and age to be denied the ability to fully mourn our dead. Now, some who are assembled, and I can see who are attending, at least on Zoom, you are mourners. You are here because you have or will be burying a loved one. But others of you, no mourners, you've wanted to comfort them. You've wanted to be there for them. And you've also lost loved ones yourself, maybe not parents, maybe not spouses, but coworkers, neighbors, extended family. I don't think there's anyone assembled who hasn't somehow been touched by the world that we are living in now. The inchoate act of mourning, the fact that it is not full, that it is start and stop, that it is imperfect. And Aaron embodies that too. But I want to say that even though Aaron couldn't mourn in full, Aaron still did mourn. We don't know what his mourning looked like. It's hidden from us in the Torah. All we are told is that he got up that next morning and he did that sacrifice and he consecrated the Mishkan. But one has to imagine that it was buried within him, that his pain, his sorrow, his hunger for connection was there. And he figured out a way to fulfill it. Every single one of us needs to figure out a way to fulfill that for us as well. And I think that even though mourning is imperfect now, the best that we can do is to double down on the tools that we have at our disposal. We have to double down on connection, even if it's just virtual. We have to check in with each other more because the check-in at first was not as deep since we could not embrace. And instead of going into deepness with one another, we have to have breath. We have to check in a week, 2 weeks, a month, a year later to make sure that our loved ones are okay. We have to do what we can. And we have to be present in any ritual that we can do, whether it's on a screen or whether it's standing in front of a grave that we could not fill in. Whether it's heeding the words or hearing the words that are delivered as people share memories, knowing that not everybody who wanted to share could. Aaron had imperfect mourning, and so do we. But Aaron, I'm sure, found a way to mourn, and so will we. So as we bind up our wounds together and we acknowledge that every single one of us is hurting in some way, I want to challenge us to say, be present with the tools that you have. They are there, and though not what you want, and though not what you thought, you can use them, I promise. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. So, I want us actually to spend a little bit of time sitting with the mourning that we have. We observed Yizkor, but not everybody was able to make it. And so we want to just give people a taste of what it's like to just sit in that grief for a second. And it's customary when we lose someone for us to say to mourners, Hamakom yenachem etchem, b'tok sha'arei Avlei Tzion b'Yerushalayim, that may God comfort you in your mourning. And so we spend a moment chanting words based on that.
Yenachem etchem, hamakom yenachem etchem, hamakom yenachem etchem, hamakom yenachem etchem.
So each day during the period between Passover and Shavuot, we count. We count days as we move on this symbolic journey from leaving Egypt till standing at the foot of Mount Sinai to receive the Torah. And so we're going to turn to page 278 in our prayer books, or page 296, as together we prepare to count the Omer. I'll give people just a moment to get there. I am ready to fulfill the mitzvah of counting the Omer. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al svirat haomer. We praise you, O God, who hallows us with mitzvot and commands us to count the Omer.
Amen. היום 9 ימים שהם שבוע אחד ושני ימים לעומר.
Today is the 9th day, that is to say 1 week and 2 days of the Omer. May we know and feel the presence of gevurah, of strength, of the boundaries that we can create in our lives that will keep us safe and strong and awake and healthy. May we know it, may we receive it, and may we share it with others. Amen.
Amen. We rise together, page 282 or page 300 in our books for Elena.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. מה אנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
Page 287.
ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
We turn forward in our prayer books to page 294 or page 312 as we do pause and we think of those who are in mourning and we think of those who we have loved and lost. This Shabbat, we observe the following yard sites: Ijalmer Anderson, Esther Keels, Baff, Blanche Bernstein, Ethel Bach, Herman Brown, Zita Berger, Elizabeth Dix, Arthur Eisenberg, Fanchon Gattel, Jack Guest, Morris Hassan, Martha Henley, Joseph Jacobs, Max Abraham Kahn, Samuel Kaplan, Herbert Kramer, Louis Liebling, June Lin, David Marion, Benjamin Meyer, Samuel Myers, Luis Nazaire, Jacob Newworth, Samuel Parr, Theodore Pizer, Ann Paulin, Harry Rabinowitz, Charles Reisner, Benjamin Rich, Israel Richmond, Shana Rosenberg, Samuel Schleien, Leslie Smith, Carol Spencer, Morris Spitz, Frida Tilkin, Rosalind Wagner, David Weingast, Barbara Weiser, Kermit Wellner, Morris Wien, Sarah Zizel, Jacob Zimmerman, and Aaron Ziv. And for those who are in their Shiva and Shloshim periods of mourning, Marianne Cooper, mother of Debbie Shapiro, and Constant Duchin, mother of Fred Duchin, both of whom we don't formally read, but who will be laid to rest on Sunday. And there will be a Shiva minyan on Sunday evening at 7 to comfort Fred and his family on the loss of his mother, Constance. We also think of Harvey Komita, father of Jenny Komita, Alice Scholler, mother of Lisa Westreich, Jerry Lenkowitz, uncle of Helena Altabeth, Rosalind Weldner, mother of Warren Levinson, Harriet Hennig, mother of Elise Link, Stephen Raitt, husband of Jane Raitt, Francine Hirsch, mother of Paul Hirsch, Andrew Cohen, husband of Karen Cohen, father of Harris and Aaliyah Cohen, Lauren Smith, sister of Eric Rosendorf, sister-in-law of Jeff Channon, Janet Gilberg, mother of Arlene Krauss, Donatien Laurent, father of Rabbi Ann Laurent, Mara Kochba, sister of Lauren Glassman, and Harold Sterling, father of Brian Sterling. In addition, I'll invite you to add names in our chat or to say them to yourself of those who you are observing a one-year anniversary for or who may not have been on this list. We join together in the Mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah. V'yamad divrach hiritei v'yamlich malchutei. V'chayachon v'yom echon v'chayet echol Beit Yisrael. Bagala uvizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mavarach le'olam l'omei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei dekudisha barichu. Leila min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechamata, damiram v'yalma v'imru amen. Yehei shalom araba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mramav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. So we can be seated together. And before we move into our closing song, just a few quick announcements. So tomorrow morning, we have Torah study at 9 a.m. led by Herb Purton. 9 o'clock is also our Wake Up Shabbat for young families, and 10 o'clock starts our morning service. That evening at 7:30, we have a really wonderful program. It's our second of these after Havdalah. We have Ed, who is going to be leading really like an open mic that is already, I think, oversubscribed.
If you want to sing, come on in. We'll make room for you.
Yeah, but it's our community knows how to perform, which is great. Sunday, no religious school, but we do have a healing service at 3 p.m. that day. And two other events that I want to really plug. We've got a whole host of programs throughout that course of the week, but two programs that you should pay special attention to. One is Yom HaShoah, Holocaust Remembrance Day, is going to be on Monday night. And instead of our whole community coming together in person, right, all the churches and all the synagogues, we are coming together virtually. And Cantor Greenberg has worked very hard with the other clergy, especially with Rabbi Greenstein from Shomrei Emunah, to put together a really wonderful night. And I hope that you'll join us for that. And on Thursday night at 7 p.m., as part of the Bounce Festival, which is moving online, which is a festival about hope and optimism, I'm doing a pre-event with two other clergy, Reverend Leslie Houseworth Fields and Reverend Anne Rolowski, who is, and we are going to be talking about loneliness and what faith adds to the conversation around loneliness. So I hope you'll join us and join us for any of the other stuff.
That's right.
Yeah, so
much going on. So, friends, we're going to end with some more words of peace. Oseh shalom b'mordav, hu ya'aseh shalom. O Shabbat meditation at 4 p.m. as well. That was just brought up. Thank you, Peter, for a reminder. That's an online Zoom meditation that people can reach out to Peter Kaplan to find out more of. There's so many things, and you know what? They are all of value. So find the thing that will bring some breath and some peace into your heart, into your life, into your day. Take it in, show up to it. It makes it better. Oseh shalom b'mrama, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Oseh shalom b'mrama, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Oseh shalom b'mrama. Shalom aleinu, yaseh shalom.
ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל ואמרו אמן.
Shabbat
Shabbat shalom,
shalom.
friends.
Shabbat shalom.